Coming from Politico, Trump just blew up Ron DeSantis' succession plans. Now DeSantis, who has arguably risen to become the most powerful governor in Florida history, may leave office without someone determined to preserve his legacy. Should it be preserved, though? And his plan of action is giving another very questionable, very problematic governor who ensured that a spouse ran, whether that's what she wanted to do or not. Didn't really work out well for the children or the spouse. But when does it ever with Euro-Americans? When does it ever? Governor Ron DeSantis and First Lady Casey DeSantis had a message for donors and other important Republican backers over the last few weeks. Don't throw your support to Representative Byron Donalds, because Casey DeSantis was seriously considering jumping into the 2026 race for governor. GOP Barbie say what? Do y'all have aspirations of your own? Never mind. I know the answer to that. That message was upended last Thursday night with a single social media post by President Donald Trump emphatically endorsing Donalds. He hasn't forgiven you, DeSantis. You didn't bend it like Beckham for him, so. And Donald is willing to lie, willing to take it, no Vaseline, all of the things for the sake of Trump. Because Donald has convinced himself that white is the right way to go. And Trump's decision may have also derailed an effort to preserve Governor DeSantis' conservative legacy ahead of another potential presidential run. Okay. 3 Republican operatives and consultants who were granted anonymity to disclose details of the effort to promote Casey DeSantis said the governor made calls requesting people hold off on support for the Congress member to donors and potential Donald boosters, including some who showed up on a social media post in which Trump touted a poll showing Donald's leading among potential GOP candidates. That poll did not include Casey DeSantis. 2 of the Republicans said that both the governor and the First Lady were planning on meeting with Trump to discuss the governor's race during a planned visit late last week to Washington with other governors. It is not clear whether the proposed meeting, which was first reported by conservative news website The Floridian, took place, though the 2 did attend Saturday's dinner with governors at the White House. Y'all know Trump just says stuff off the cuff. Okay, it's a matter of who gets to him first. You cannot do things traditionally. Yes, it would make sense if he had a modicum of decorum and understood, how networking works, that you could wait for a meeting like that. No, you got to send him a case of Diet Coke and call him ahead of time. It's pretty much what Donald's did. I bet you that's what he did. Now DeSantis, who has arguably risen to become the most powerful governor in Florida history, may leave office without an anointed heir dedicated to preserving DeSantis' effort in a wide array of legislative and political and policy battles. During his 6 years in office, he became a conservative star as he pushed back against COVID-19 protocols and leapt into political fights over gender and racial identity. So it's not, oh, I believe in my wife, or hey, my wife wants to make a change. It's just to try to cement his legacy. But baby, your children aren't able to run next. So who's going to preserve this legacy as if nobody can come and put things back on the right track? To get Florida back on the right side of history. To stop decimating the people who live within the confines of the Floridian border. But DeSantis on Monday at a Tampa press conference criticized Donald when asked about the endorsement. He suggested Donald needed to focus on helping Trump in Congress and that Donald just hasn't been part of any of the victories we have had over the left the last few years. He's not wrong. The governor also predicted that if Casey DeSantis were to run for governor, she would win by a larger margin than he did in 2022. I don't know about that, but it is plausible. And I think it's mighty strange that everybody is going for a power grab now. Now that Trump is, according to their narrative, laying a foundation for GOP/MAGA prominence in the future. They're depleting their numbers as we speak on Capitol Hill. Their numbers that they fought and clawed so hard for. Also, they've gotten into this perpetual campaigning and not really doing the work. And it's like, great, you have these titles, you have this power, but nothing is getting done. We've got bodies in the seats, but no work is getting done. What kind of legacy do y'all think this is going to leave? Some longtime allies of Trump said whoever the president supports is destined to win in a state that is now firmly Republican. Is it though? I know what people like to say on TV sometimes, and I know what people like to say on social media, and I also know that people say a lot of things publicly that they don't say privately, and a lot of people make good money off of lying publicly. But Florida, are y'all done suffering? Do y'all really get down with the get down? Because right now Florida is gearing up to be an entrapment camp. You will not be able to transfer anything that you do outside of Florida, but you also won't be able to afford to live there. Your high school diplomas, your college degrees won't work outside of Florida. It will essentially be its own deserted country within a country. Our first country suburb. Trump is going to decide the elections in Florida in 2026, said State Senator Joe Gruters, Republican out of Sarasota. He controls the party, he controls the state, and there's nothing that anybody can do to change that. Y'all know he's a human being. He's not a mob boss. He's not Kim Jong-un or Kim's crazy ass sister. Okay. Personal injury lawyer Dan Newland, a donor who Trump named as ambassador to Colombia, describes Donald as someone who'd shown unwavering dedication to the president's election and predicted a significant victory. He didn't get calls from DeSantis about the 2026 race, but called them a significant political mistake. So it's not about patriotism. It's not about moving the country forward. It's about who can suck the shit out of Trump's ass the best. Okay. One of the 3 GOP operatives said this about Donald. I think he's the nominee until someone comes up with a way to dethrone him. Be white and male. That'll do it. Donald, who once was close to DeSantis, has not officially entered the race, but appears likely to do so very soon. During a Friday afternoon appearance at the Conservative Political Action Conference, Donald lauded both Governor DeSantis and former Governor Rick Scott, adding that Florida is not going to stop leading. He then said to stay tuned about his future plans. DeSantis, just get on the line with him and make him lieutenant governor. Just be like, hey, run with my wife or something like that. Because Donald just wants power. He wants to put something behind his name. He wants to have a title. He just doesn't want to truly work for it because he's watching all of y'all white guys steal the shit. And he thinks because he went and got him a white wife and he puts pressure on white undercarriage that, he can do what y'all do.